How's it going there, fellas? Welcome to Hi-Ho Stable Garage, and today we're working on a 2016 F150 with a 5-liter Coyote. She's a pretty darn nice unit, but we want a little bit more exhaust tune out of this puppy, and the factory exhaust on these 5 liters is a single tip coming out from the back, and we just can't have that. We're going to go full stainless steel dual exhaust on this fella and really give it the bark it should have had from factory. Should work out pretty darn slick. Now you might be asking, how exactly are we going to do that? Well, let me go show you this Cat Back exhaust. The beauty of it is, it's a full Cat Back exhaust system for the F150 Super Crew. That's what this little fella is here. And just look at all that cheddar. That's a 3-inch Cat Back exhaust. So, let's get that guy in the barn, lift him up, let's take off the old exhaust, and let's do the install of this Flashshark 3-inch Cat Back exhaust system. All right, now we got the vehicle supported, let's start taking out that exhaust system. And what you're gonna wanna do is unbolt your hangers along your exhaust and then up at your resonator. And then you can basically take it out. You might have to separate it at the muffler. But let me take these guys off. I got one there that I had to take off. There's one bolt underneath, take him off. Similar story on our hanger here, underneath our muffler. We're gonna take him off. We're gonna unbolt this fella right here. This is up at our resonator. We're gonna take him off as well. There, now there's the whole Ford exhaust system removed from the truck. Now it's basically catalytic converter back. Should work out pretty darn slick. So now we're gonna install the Flashshark Cat Back exhaust system in it. Should work out pretty darn good. So that piece right there up to the muffler is gonna be over here. This guy's the muffler. That real long piece is what's gonna bolt up to our catalytic converter. So let's get those guys in. Now, Flashshark was kind enough to send us this, but this is by no means a one-way review. We want to see, is this exhaust system really as good as they say it is? Now, the fit and finish is quite nice on these fellas. Looks like it's all TIG welded. Now, for this exhaust system, I'm not sure if they purged this pipe when they were doing the TIG welding, because I'm not a super good welder, but there is a little bit of sugaring on the inside, but overall the pipe is really nice. They did a fantastic job on it. So we're gonna install this fella, and then this fella right here, he's gonna slide onto that end. And I guess if I was gonna make another gripe about the exhaust system, and again, I'm kind of nitpicking here, the bolts that they use for the stainless steel clamps are mild steel. So these guys are gonna rust, they're gonna corrode, versus not the straps and not your exhaust. So something to think about. If you want, you can change these out yourselves. And they do have the stuff, because this is a stainless steel bolt right here, TIG welded to a stainless steel plate. But overall, it's quite a fantastic product so far. So far, so good. Let's see how the assembly goes together. First piece. And there you go. Very, very simple. We basically deleted the resonator, and it bolts right on to our existing flange. Works out pretty darn good. We're ready for the muffler now. Side note, that extension pipe, the resonator delete, it's a really high quality pipe, looks great, but there's no captive nuts on it. So if you want to reuse your factory bolts, you have to buy nuts. But overall, not too bad. I got metric bolts galore. So let's get that muffler in there. So now I have the muffler installed. He's basically just using the stock hangers. Works out pretty good. Now I'm just kind of slowly feeding my pipe into. It slides right into the back of the muffler here. No issue. I better put my clamp on before I forget. And then this guy here at the back, that fella right there, he's going to bolt onto the existing bracket that went here off of our stock exhaust. Then the rest of them, we're going to have to bolt on with the conversion kit. There we go. From the muffler over the axle, then it goes over here to our 45-degree bend, and now we're going to put our tip on. Everything's loose, just in case we got to move stuff around. All right, so next up, we have our other pipe. He goes out of the exhaust and up and over the axle comes out right here by our spare tire. We might put some heat wrap on the spare tire just for the time being, because that's kind of where he ends up. It's kind of right there. Not too bad. Not too bad at all. So now we're going to basically attach our other piece to her, and that should kind of angle it out. All right, so now we have that guy. He goes into our elbow piece, gets our clamp, just never put the clamp on yet, and then he goes over to here. Now, this is your mounting on this fella. Basically, you have a plate up inside, and he has the stud that comes out. Feed him in, and then you put the nut on. I already did this side. I'm going to show you guys how to do that side. I even got some of the exhaust set up. So, that's what we're going to do for him. Very, very simple. This is basically the unit that we're going to be using here. Let me undo him. And all what you want to do, take your bracket here. He goes in just like so. Hooks it into the bottom, just like that. And then this fella comes around here. Sorry, I had him backwards. He comes around here and hooks into that hole right there. You want the long side, I actually got this in reverse. You want the long side to grab that end and the short side there. And then when you put this fella on, he sandwiches the whole entire unit. You put your nut and you're good to go. That's your mount. Very clever way of doing it. I like that. That's not too bad at all. So yeah, this is what I was talking about right here. He kind of goes on like that and holds him on. Now that is all our supports. Now on this fella, works out pretty darn slick. So now we got to add our exhaust tips. Well, yeah, they're loose right now. Nothing's aligned, but that's generally what you're going to get. Shotgun style exhaust tips going to the back. Boom. Should work out pretty darn slick. So now I'm just going to go through, tighten everything, align everything, make sure everything's straight and narrow and everything's the way it's supposed to be. And then we can go try it out. Now you might be wondering how it sounds after sitting. This guy's been sitting for 7 days without any starting. Let's see how it cold starts. A little bit frosty. It's about 1 degree out right now. But yeah, overall, works out pretty darn slick for the exhaust. It really brings her right around. I think it's a good addition. Howdy, howdy. So, now that we got this full Flashshark exhaust on, how about we go over it and let's just play around a little bit, see if it actually worked out the way we want. Had to pause my George Strait there, but this is at idle inside the truck. As you can see, 500 RPM. You can hear the fan more than you can hear the exhaust, which is pretty good. But you give it a little bit of beans, you hear a little bit more grunt than you would from factory. So as you can see, we're parked out here. It's idling and it's not obnoxious. That's the biggest thing that you want. But with a little bit of throttle, it lets you know that it has a little bit of bark to its bite as well, which is pretty darn slick, not gonna lie. But you can have a conversation in the cab and you can have a conversation right next to it. No real problem. And that's really what you want. You don't want an exhaust, especially on a daily, something like this. If you had a 454 old pickup truck, maybe you might want some side dumps and some really loud, obnoxious exhaust on it. But for this, not really. You want to be able to fly under the radar without anyone knowing where you are and where you've been and where you're going. here's a launch from inside the cab. We'll listen to the noise at, launch RPM. And back down to 500. And you can hear yourself think. Overall, I'm quite impressed. Ah, yes. How very Canadian of you. Please get out of my way there, Canadian geese. Now, big thank you to Flashshark again for sponsoring this video and this exhaust installation on this 2016 F150. It seems to suit the truck and my driving habits quite nice. Again, if you guys want your own, I get a small kickback on each purchase, as you guys know, if you use this link, but it also helps you guys get some discount off this exhaust system. HS15, it's going to be right here. That's what you guys want to click on. Either way, honest opinion, it's a good exhaust. If you're mechanically inclined, you can install this at home, no sweat. Use this video as an installation video. It will help you along the way 100%. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one really, really soon. See you guys.